Darth Draconis speaking. Apologies for the lighting conditions. Hopefully that'll be improved upon in future uploads. It was actually not going to be an issue, I just waited till way too late at nighttime, and the spot I was going to be sitting in for this upload, it's not going to work tonight, so here we are. Hopefully you don't mind the basically audio-only upload. But I figured I'd go ahead and do it since I finally got the channel set up for this. And mostly it's going to be for like informational blurbs every now and then, maybe the occasional spoken lecture. But for this first upload, I figured I'd speak to the schism a little bit and where things stand right now. I'm staying the course because the principles that clashed that led to the schism between me and those running the order over there at the time, that still stands. See, the policy changes now are an improvement, but they were also a suggested band-aid to kind of placate me and Chaos, and I don't know, I mean, clearly he's active at that site, which is good. They definitely benefit from having him there, but it's just a continuation, an attempt to put a band-aid on the fucked up policies that were put in place. So I'm not willing to let that be my legacy. That can be Luciana's legacy. Hers is a separate order from mine. Mine essentially, I guess, went dormant when they took over because the values and the purpose and the function, the modus operandi of the order itself was distorted with those policy changes. And while it's moved a little bit back towards the right direction, I think they deserve their own due credit. Because for all the digs I took at Luciana and Miles over this policy change, they're still Lords of the Sith. And in accordance with my own reasoning, my own explained reasoning, I wouldn't presume to act like I could strip them of those titles. I can point out, however, that without Chaos and myself having recognized them as Lords of the Sith, they wouldn't have held those titles or been handed the order. I really do feel like I handed it off under false pretenses. I was a little bit misled, which is fine. I don't really take too much offense to that. It's just they knew how I felt about that, and they did it anyways behind my back. That's the betrayal angle to it. And then I spoke with Miles in person shortly thereafter, just to kind of get a feel for what his read of the situation was, whether or not he could explain to me how I'm wrong, where I'm going wrong. And what it amounts to is he couldn't. It's just a difference in principles. He's fine with buying into collectivist terminology and collectivist approaches to an organization. I refuse to treat the order as a group unit, though, because it can be one Sith or many. The order will survive. It doesn't really matter. And shoring it up in terms of group identity, strengthening that, I have no interest in that. So if I'm supposed to be the one jumping through hoops, even though I'm proven, and Chaos is supposed to be jumping through hoops, even though he's proven, it would be for the purposes of strengthening that group identity under the control of Luciana and Miles. That's never been the purpose of the Order. It hasn't been for the leadership to espouse their own specific brand of Sith ideology. My approach has always been to encompass and swallow up different ideologies, and that makes the Order change and evolve over time, and it means that my brand of ideology isn't necessarily the dominant one all the time. Case in point being when Chaos and Miles were in control of the Order, and they were running it. It changed a little bit. Not for the worse, though. For the better. But see, I think that's because Miles was kind of forced to work hand in hand with Chaos. And I'm not challenging their legitimacy as Sith or as Lords of the Sith. I'm just challenging the style of governance they chose to go with. It doesn't mesh with my values. It just doesn't. You don't have the authority to strip a standing lord or knight of their title. It doesn't matter who's in charge at the time. Nobody in charge has ever had that power. That's an established, fundamental rule of the order as far as I'm concerned. From here on out, at least. I mean, it kind of always went without saying. And so I guess that's why it was so easy to undermine. So I'll fucking say it. No problem. But you understand, at the Force Academy, for example, same issue over there, or similar. I attained the rank of Dark Master there. So, at the Force Academy, I hold that rank. If I don't hold that rank at Satel's site, then it's not the Force Academy as far as I'm concerned, because in that place, in that setting, I earned that title and I earned that ranking. Same thing applies for the Order. I founded it. I took care of it for years. Made sure that who I handed it off had their heads on straight. You know, the people that were running things, even when I wasn't, were only there because I handed it off to them, frankly. If I hadn't, then my order possibly would have died, or I could have resurrected it later on, who knows. Doesn't matter. Point being, they would have had to start their own thing, separate and distinct from my own. So, in order to kind of force that to be the case, I will maintain control of the order as established in 2006 by me. Resurrected in the present day. And as far as the order taken over by Kronos, I wish them well. I'll probably be more active there because there'll be less hostility, less political bullshit, less drama. The hard feelings, I think, coming at me aren't really reciprocated in the same way. I'm not terribly butthurt over it. I just have certain principles that I'm not willing to compromise on. That's the long and short of it. No hard feelings really on my part. Or if there are, it's not that big of a deal, okay? It really isn't. But I do insist that the order as run by Luciana and Miles and taken over by Kronos is a distinct entity from the order I founded and that I'm now resuming lordship over, I guess. And if you go there, don't come to me looking for an instructor. Don't come to me looking for a teacher. Don't come to me looking for a leader. I may be one or many or all of those things. I may be more than that. But if you come to my order, you come as a practitioner in your own right. And if you want to build something there, build it. If you want to participate in building some of the shit I'm going to be up to, go for it. But understand that you'll be collaborating with me. I won't be teaching you. You won't be seeking my fucking approval. Okay? I will just be doing my best as far as the approval process goes for titles to gauge how far along a practitioner is. Because that's something I'm a recognized authority on. I can do that. And it helps for continuity to leave the ranks untampered with, the titles intact. So that's how things will be at the place I'm running. Hopefully I'll see some people there soon. If not, no biggie. I'm just going to be up to my own thing there anyways, so whether people come or don't doesn't really make a difference to me because eventually they will come. I'm not worried about that. Lulls don't bother me anymore. They used to. I used to worry about the death of the order. As long as I'm still there, though, it's never going to die. The only time it might ever conceivably stand a chance of that is when I stop breathing. And even then, by that time, like look at the order as run by Luciana. Failed though the policy changes and the general change in direction may be, it's still continuing in a new form. I'm sure that by the time I finally croak, the same will likely be true of the order as presided over by me. So, in the meantime, it's really a case of, if you can't trust anybody to do it right the way you want it, then you got to do it yourself. You can't just bitch and complain. If you've got a problem with something, you've got to address that problem on your own terms. This is me doing that. That's one of the several reasons that the order's been resurrected. So, hopefully see you there. If not, no biggie, like I say. And that's about it for now.